Savage is going to have a go at this. Hoping for a bash, but not getting any, and now a nice hook out from Yassi. And that is literally threading the needle there, John. It was, Bombi was surrounded by 3 heroes, but the hook still made it in. Very nice from Yassi.
Yeah. And that opens up a chance for them to force something out. They've got 6 in Bombi. He has the egg. It's a bit of a risky time for Among Us to force a fight out here, as they don't quite have that same power spike.
Look at Savage. He is really having a tough time. 2.8k net worth. His CS is not gone as well.
Rubble.
This is what you kind of come to expect from this team, as bot lane, Yassi does connect with the hook onto Whitemon. Whitemon going to cookie jabs in, but doesn't really connect with the stun, and Yassi going to try and run, but does get hit with the hoof stop, and should be dead here. Jabs will be able to pick up a very nice kill there on the Centaur.
Yeah, it's a good one to slow it down. Evens out the kill board. All of this movement coming out is really 496 trying to leverage that early spike. This is time that Among Us is using to build up in Kuku. You take a look at that Batrider, kind of up there in that word. Not quite as high as you'd want, but is building up. You know, he's going into the travels build, then he can start shoving those lanes out, buying that space for Savage. But Among Us, they've got that chrono up in Savage bot. They might want to make use of it somehow.
They definitely do. Yassi going to try and force that chrono as he does show up. Got to be careful though. Hook is out on Savage. That'll force the time walk. Now the magic missile. They don't really want a chrono because they know Bombi. He's probably going to have the fire spirits and he's probably going to have the egg. That might make it a complete waste here for Savage if he did throw it out. So he does hold on, but now Bombi trying to get more aggressive with this damage that he can get out, and Savage, of course, can't officially time walk away from that magic damage. It is just over time. So it does make it a bit tough on Savage.
Again, he just has to ditch that lane, find farm elsewhere. He might go for a kill attempt.
Oh, nice lasso. Red in danger. Can he find his way out? He does have the chains. Savage!
Oh, boy.
Oh, nice lot of damage out from Red in danger. Can he find his way out? And does have the chains. Savage! 4 now for 496.
That's not what you're looking for Among Us. Savage tried to play aggressive, but you gotta respect the damage flying in. Doesn't even commit the chrono, so they don't find a kill. Gonna set them back a ton. You can see Savage's farm relative to everyone else. Really bad spot to be in. 3.2k net worth. Needs to play catch up. I don't think you're gonna do anything with that early chrono. There's just no chances here. 496 are running a very tanky draft. And, you know, while all that action happens, Hung gets free farm in the jungle. So the desert's going to be up soon.
Abed trying to deal with Bombi. He does have Egg Icarus dive. Yassi waiting around, looking for a hook opportunity. Abed going to make sure he jukes this one out, but Yassi never really gets it out. Does hold on. Might want to wait to that level 6, and now he does have it with the tomb. So you have the Dismember. And it makes it much more effective once you connect the hook, especially on a hero like the Ember. Be able to just lock him down long enough to get some damage out. See when Yassi does get that opportunity, but for now Abed is going to rotate up top, where he'll try to make a play onto Red, but I think it is going to be slightly challenging, especially because he does have the casual cloak up and he's working towards the Hood of Defiance. And even now, you've got the Deso on that TA.
Yeah, it's not quite lining up for Among Us. They've given too much time. They keep focusing Red.
Yeah, lasso out. Here's those multiple skits. Red going to try and go out with the chakra. Hook shot going to be up from Yassi, but it is still going to mean the Timber dead. And now Yassi's going to be in trouble. They'll commit the Phoenix Egg, but it is not going to be enough to keep them safe, as all of the side of Among Us are up this top lane, ready to force down this tier 1 tower. 496. Yeah. Not going to waste their time. Among Us, of course, going to go after that tier 1 now.
Yeah, it's going to be a big tower to take. Frees up some space here for Savage to freely farm. You don't have the same clump up down bot for 496. They have no opportunity to go for a tower trade. That is something that's going to hurt them just a bit in the short term in terms of map control. It does look like they're just waiting for the blink on Hung, but they're still out there for the defense, and Among Us not feeling confident.
Savage Red does chain into him. Yassi again going to be around. So this punch persona is so trolly. Just the way it skips around the map. Looks very, very cute. 23 Savage, got to be wary. The hook shot is there from Yassi. He's holding out, however. Now Arbed gonna remnant back in onto Red with the cookie and Savage. He'll just commit the chrono on the punch to make sure there are no games. And Yassi is caught out and does go down. And Among Us now really starting to take a nice lead in this game number 1.
Yeah, they're pulling ahead. Less than 1k so far, but they find that tier 1 top. They found the objective they were looking for. You don't see that progress yet from 496. This is just space for Hung. So he's going to have his blink in about 300 gold. Once you've got that in the TA, 496 has to start playing together, maybe forcing objectives out.
Big smoke behind him. Hung is pretty screwed here. He'll try and fight this one out. Bombi in with the fire spirits, but it is not going to help. And now Bombi, he doesn't have Icarus time. He doesn't want to die like this. He needs 3 seconds, but he's not going to get that 3 seconds. Among Us, but it is not going to help. Now the cleanup now. He doesn't have into the mid tier 1 tower. And 496, they can't really afford to fall behind with this draft of theirs. As if they do, they will just get outscaled. And Yassi going to try for a hook shot. He does land it, but it is not going to matter as you may just lose Red now. And with that, Mortimer's kisses to fly out. Punches on fire. And is going to die. Even another. That BB coming in to try and help, but it does not pan out.
Oh, that's pretty much a full team wipe that got staggered there for 496, and they have to start playing together at some point. They can't be streaming in one by one. Among Us is just going to keep running at them as fast as possible to offset that early pickoff potential they built with this draft. Like now, the timing of Red, he had that Hood of Defiance early, but his pipe follow-up is going to take a bit more to build up. You're going to have the Yule's late as well, and you've already got the Spirit Vessel in Abed. He has 8 charges to pump out. That's a lot of sustain and damage that the Ember can now bring in.
What is this build from Bombi? Dagon? Into Ethereal Blade now. Top lane, rather bot. Hung does go down. Red still trying to play around here as Yassi going to land the hook. That'll be Cuckoo in trouble, and he does die. Arbed now going to be in a spot of danger, but he will continue to chase down the punch. Does get him as well. Red's very low. Arbed still with that haste rune, just running around in circles around them. They will go onto Bombi now. He will commit the egg, but it surely goes down. Nice swap out from that BB, but it's not going to be enough. And now with that Arbed, should be able to get Red on the timber. And with the remnant forward, that'll be Red gone.
Not your best
Arbed is starting to take over this game. That BB is going to try and run, but Arbed should surely be able to kill him off. Although it doesn't connect with the chains.
How does that even work?
That BB still running, still buying some time.
Unstoppable.
This all out. They are just taking a bit of time, and Arbed does eventually get it for himself.
Not for long.
Oh boy, like this back and forth just never ends. And 496, well, it's starting to fall a bit flat here, Mike. You pointed out that build in Bombi. I used to love this build, but I don't know about it in this case. Like the burst damage is going to be good. This is going to melt Savage. He's going to have a BKB fast. I have to say, when you're stalled out on Dagon 1, though, it's a bit awkward. You would have loved the Radiance instead now, if you could farm it up. Or even just the standard Veil and Chivas if you wanted to, but 496, they're faster draft now, 5k behind at 16 minutes in. If they can land a good team fight, though, if they can get their spells off at the right time, get Hung in a good spot, they can still win. It's just that they're playing this farm game. Hung wants his BKB before he's ready to go, and oh.
Captured in the flame.
Danger,
Spread.
Dominated.
He's going to get caught out. Another easy kill out for Among Us.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This game is starting to look extremely bad. I mean, Hung is your top net worth. He doesn't really want to give his life away like that. Desperately needs that BKB up. Now mid lane, Yassi gonna go for the dismember onto Juju, but really doesn't do any damage. Ends up dying now, even the Stampeder. Bombi caught up by the lasso, committed the Dagon. It does get the egg off, but there is absolutely 0 point. They are going to be able to easily burst it down. It's continuing to look like a massacre here.
Dire's top tower is under
really
attack.
is. It's starting to fall a bit flat. Down box.
Abed going to go after that BB.
Dire's middle tower looks to be
Another
disintegrating.
easy kill.
Wow, that Spirit Vessel, it looks like a Bloodstone now, Mike. 12 charges up. How? I mean, he can just keep spamming it out. You're never gonna have a
Dire's top
chance to
tower is
regen
about to be
through
Radiant's top
here
rubble.
if you're that Timbersaw, and that's the strength of the hero. Now, Savage is in a compromised spot.
Dire's
But-
top tower is under attack.
He's fine. Hook can be a bit tricky sometimes when there's a camp, unfortunately.
Can be. Mid lane, Abed. Gonna show his face. Don't have the greatest lockdown here from 496, so Abed's just having the freest game of his life, it feels like. One of his kisses, bot lane, are going to be expended out onto red. Hook is going to land onto Whitemon. Can they blow him up? He does get him out, but Savage is in with the two-man chrono. Nice swap out from that BB, but it is not going to matter. They still take both of them out, and now Hung, he's a sitting duck. He will also die. Red is still, they actually get Savage. That Dagon is going to pay off the Bombi, but it is going to cost him his own life. And Red is still going, does pick off jabs now on the Timber. And although they continue to lose the team fight, they do sort of even it out.
Fortified.
Danger, Abed should be able to get this one, and yeah, Red is going to go down. Another nice play from Abed.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that does end up being a full team wipe coming out for Among Us, so they steadily build their
bottom
lead.
tower.
You need this
Don't
BKB
look
up for
good.
Savage really fast, because he's going to be bursted down like this consistently. But he's going into these fights without the MKB. You can see that Among Us do want to just keep that pace up. They're not giving any breathing room towards 496. I mean, you could say this hurts Savage's farm, yeah, but it's also hurting Hung. And the TA is much more timing sensitive than that faces Void. Hung is still up there. He's hanging in very close to Abed's neck. Where his BKB still gonna be there, although
Yeah, Lasso in the mid lane. Yassi, he change up Abed. Be able to get another nice easy kill for himself, and he does.
I like it, Chapter.
Into the mid lane it is, but 496, they want to fight. Never back down, they say. Among Us, they are going to back off, of course. It is about that time for those 20-minute bounty runes. And on top of that, you do now have Savage with an MKB, so he is going to try and solo the Roshan, while another team fight breaks out. Whitemon going to be caught, or more like that BB is going to be caught. Cuckoo going to go for the chase with the Mortimer's Kisses to fly in. Now Abed going to be there with the chains onto Red with the Spirit Vessel, and that is going to be another easy cleanup as Among Us continue this domination of game number 1. Bombi not going to be chained, he'll be okay to walk out.
oh man, that was that BB trying to be aggressive with swap, doesn't get paid off, and in that downtime, Savage does go into the Roche. A couple of bashes more would have been his doom, but they're gonna find it. He did just solo Roche for the most part. So that's the first 8 is going to Among Us. Great
Dire's
use of that
bottom tower
space.
is under attack.
496. What's really hurting them is the timings on that Timbersaw. We pointed it out earlier, but him stuck in the hood of the
Dire's
Defiance means
bottom tower is
he's
under
not
attack.
blocking as much damage. He needs the Yulet's up. It's just not there. They're sinking all the farm onto Hung. So this investment
Dire's
on the TA
bottom
has
tower.
to jump back at some
Don't
point.
look good.
Pretty nice lasso out.
Hey,
To Yassi
where's Dire's bottom
onto
tower?
the high ground, and they're going to let him
Oh
burn.
boy.
And they'll let him burn, alright.
Buzzards
Shotgun out from
won't touch
Whitemon will
this
get
one.
the job done. Now 30-9 now. So it's getting very,
Dire's
very
top tower
one-sided.
is under
15k
attack.
net worth lead. Octarine Core up on Abed, and Aghanim Scepter up on Whitemon. Down that bot lane.
Dire's top tower
Red.
is about to be Radiant's top rubble. Dire's top
Really is
tower
having
is
a lot of
falling.
trouble fighting it. Now the Gobble Up's done out from Whitemon. Oh, he spit Abed in, and it connected on both of them. Now Red's going to try and make a run for it, but they've got the cookie there, and this Timbersaw is almost guaranteed to die. He's trying. He is trying, but not looking great for him as Abed is just not done.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh boy.
Good goodness, this is a lot to overcome. Check the net worth, even Whitemon's
Dire's
above
bottom
Bombi.
tower is
That
under
was a
attack.
core Phoenix, mind you, so it's getting very difficult for 496 to find those team fights.
Dire's bottom tower.
They smoked, they
Don't
TP'd, they're
look
hunting.
good.
Hung.
Dire's bottom
Still hasn't
tower
got that
is
BKB.
fallen.
He's so close. He needs to try and fight back up against Cuckoo, but it's just not enough. Cuckoo on this Batrider has been really efficient this game, John, just with the sticky napalm.
Aw, chaps.
Chav's in a spot of trouble, but not so much. Meanwhile, Bombi trying to deal with Abed, but they just cookie. Whitemon getting that kill. Now Abed moving forward once again with the gobble up. Yassi's in trouble. It is raining fire, and they'll lose the punch, and maybe even that BB. Whitemon gets a double kill now on the Snapfire.
What is this
Dire's
game?
middle tower is under attack.
37 to 9, 20k lead. These fights are breaking off across the map. Literally different lanes. They're still all hooking up. And 496, they've got to find that farm. The BKB's almost done and hung. Really
Dire's
important
middle
to hammer
tower
that
looks
in.
to be disintegrating.
Once you do, your TA can maybe deal with it. I'm so scared. It doesn't
Dire's
feel like
middle
it'll be
tower is
enough.
under
We
attack.
haven't even seen Savage throw any follow-up Chronos anymore. They just don't need it.
Nope. No, they do
Radiant are
not.
scanning for enemies.
It's been the Abed show this game.
Dire's middle tower
Abed
is
has been
taking
an
a
absolute
dirt
tear on
nap.
this Ember, and that's why you don't really want to give him this hero. He does tend to make things like this happen. Down to that bot lane. They may feel confident enough to go high ground. It is a huge net worth lead. Red, he's going to get lassoed up. Savage will jump in, just trying to burst it down as Abed will go into the back lines and try to hold everyone else back. But they get a dismember, they get the egg off. They have to be careful here among us, or maybe not. They're bursting them down. Bombi, he gets the egg to finish, but he's got no more
Dire's bottom
teammates.
tower is under attack.
3 down for nothing. Onto the high ground.
They managed to
Dire's
stall for the
bottom tower
BKB.
is under
So Hung's
attack.
got that ready. Question is it going to be enough? That Chrono is still up from Savage. BKB won't
Dire's
stop
bottom
that.
tower is under attack.
No, it won't.
Dire's putting up a barricade.
Game is looking to be very, very over. Dota Plus? Yeah, Dota Plus is sitting at 99%. It knows. It's just, you don't have any scaling on 496. Like, there's
No.
nothing to take you through to the late game. And you're talking about this TA, but it's like, the TA's the mid-game goal. Not... We are about to end the mid-game, and they're 23k net worth
man.
behind, so it's just... It hasn't worked, and now Savage is going to get himself a free kill with that BB, it looks like, unless he gets hooked out by Yassi, but it's not going to matter. He'll just commit the Chrono onto Bombi, and now back to Red. He's going to have to just chain away, but the Remnants aren't chasing Abed, he is not done. Onto Hung, forcing the BKB up,
Dire's middle
and
tower
that'll be a
looks to be
cue to leave
disintegrating.
back towards their tier 3.
Behold, my Syrian
Hung was about to have that BKB wear off. Well, at least they do get the Aegis. They're going to lose that BB on the bench, however. Into the tier 3
Radiant's top
tower.
tower is under attack.
Well, Cuckoo
Dire's middle
is
tower
looking for
looks to
another
be
lasso.
disintegrating.
Stampede, gonna be
Radiant
out for
called in
jabs.
the
They get the chains off
fortifications.
onto Red. Cuckoo
Radiant's
does connect
top
with the lasso, and now
tower
Savage
is
coming in
Dire's
style once
middle tower
again.
is under attack.
It's Whitemon just using that gobble up very effectively, and they call the GG well played. They've had enough. That'll be game 1 to Among Us.
Oh, Jesus. Among Us, not messing around, really. I mean, their draft was just as confusing, right? We had the Jab Centaur, which still found its blink timing, still found its pipe timing. We had the Whitemon Snap, which of course finds an Ags. Like, this guy just always finds his Ags, even though he's on pause 5. 496, they tried to pull something very left field with that, with the Pudge, but it doesn't work out. We'll see what they change up.
Just like that. So far from you. Just like a magic strike to within the rain. The lives of everyone you know. That was the
Simon and Joe both invest in stocks. Simon uses eToro to invest in stocks without paying commission. Joe has to pay his bank a commission every time he buys or sells a stock. Simon uses CopyTrader to replicate the portfolios of leading investors in real time. Joe gets investment tips from cousin Harvey.
Laser discs.
Simon can instantly buy stocks traded on US exchanges with eToro's mobile app. Joe can trade on his mobile too.
Call is important to us. To speak to a banker, please stay on the line.
So why is Joe just as good an investor as Simon? He's not, because Simon uses eToro and Joe doesn't. Have you not been listening?
even the Unlord for that matter. You can just sit there, auto-attacking this Unlord, getting those stats up, your sanities, can be very effective. And as well as that, you can Astral, so they can't Dark Rift someone away.
Yeah, it complicates things for Among Us. Love it for 496. Hung should have a decent time. We have to see how Among Us close their draft out. I'm expecting it's going to be the Jabs Pango in this case, along with the Abed Hero last pick. So they have to be ready for those matchups. You can see the respect bans coming in now. Storm banned, of course. Probably, I don't think you need to ban the Invoker, but we're going to see if they ban the Ember out, as it has been something.
Radiant's turn to ban.
If you're 496.
I agree.
If you're Among Us, yeah.
Dire's turn to...
Last ban out. So the Abed heroes getting focused on in that mid lane. Puck being removed here from 496. Among Us. They get rid of the Winter Wyvern and the Timbersaw. 496 final pick. Backing a position 5. So we are used to seeing
10
the
seconds.
safe lane
Radiant's turn to
Bloodseeker.
pick.
And no, they're going to bring up the Wind Ranger.
Yes.
Things have gotten
Yes.
serious now. So Bombi Wind Ranger, and that could be the safe lane hero here from 496.
Yeah, it is a bit greedy though. I worry about the Veno support. I'm not sure how much impact you expect the Venmancer to have in that position.
10
But
seconds.
Bombi Wind Ranger delivers every time. I'm looking forward to see his performance here. Gives them some great damage coming out, although not particularly great against
Radiant pick.
who's around with the Underlord, sir. The damage output you do get without the Javelin can be lacking, but we'll see if 496 can dance around that timing. Of course, Bombi just plays, we mentioned it in the first game, but he plays a ton of Wind Ranger, and he has a ridiculous
10
win rate.
seconds.
Gotta watch out. It's his special. Among Us now should be the Abed hero. Now,
This
we want
is
to
where
play
you
against
choose
the
your
OG.
hero.
You don't have the mobile heroes left. You have to be aware of the Earth Spirit Silence. So you need something that can kind of deal with that. There you go.
How dare
That's
they?
how you deal with it.
Yeah. Bring out the brood mama. As soon as they saw it, 496, they started with the voice lines. That brood mother's going to be a real problem here, John. How do 496 deal with this? I mean, they've got wave clear for sure, right? You've got the blood right. You've got the power shot. It's still not that simple, right? Like in the laning stage, if Hung is going to be on the OD mid up against the brood mama, it's a tough one.
It is. Abed can just kind of juggle his spiderlings around away from that astral to prevent too much gold loss. He can start to overtake, and this is where it's a bit wonky for the OD. That lane against the Broodmother is not easy for that hero. They're gonna have to watch, because we've seen ODs play from behind. When your Ags timing's delayed, it's not a good time. You know, you end up having to sit in that jungle. You end up having to play catch up. How do you play catch up against a Brood, though? That's a hero that doesn't give you space to breed. It lines in perfectly with Among Us' timing as well. Can give Savage a ton of room to actually just play farm up and really start to take over. So 496 really have to keep an eye on that mid lane. Perhaps consider red down mid. Bloodseeker against Brood doesn't sound too bad, right? The Blood Right at least forces the Broodmother to constantly juggle the Spiderlings around, so it might be a bit more difficult to find that lane dominance, but either way, this lane's going to be hard. It's a really explosive draft from both sides. Oh man, it's going to be it's going to be one way to close out that series, Mike.
It is. See if they can take a game off Among Us. Still undefeated. And looking to stay that way, of course. This brood mama, of course, again, going to be a big problem here. They've got to figure out a way to deal with it. For a lane swap instead, maybe throw Bombi in the mid lane and throw Hung in the safe lane. That might be the way to play it, because at least you've got the power shot to try and deal with the Spiderlings.
If clear, it's going to be forcing the Brood to juggle around, and they go with an early smoke play as well here.
They do this quite often. Abed. He's going to have the smoke broken. Goes for the Gale. Into the blood right. Into the roll. And this should be the first blood. A great power shot out. And Red does manage to take it. And that's probably the best start you could ask for if you're 496.
30 seconds to battle.
So, you slow down.
Kill him before.
You slow down the Brood just enough. You're going to have a nice ramp up here on the mid blood. And that lane is really just not something the Brood Mother wants to deal with for the first 2 levels. You want level 3 to be up until you're comfy. They're still doing that thing with Roche, by the way. They dip in, have a thwack. I still wonder why, but whatever keeps them happy, I guess.
We should really ask Whitemon next time we're in the lobby with him why he does that. He'd probably have some ridiculous, not taking anything too seriously on the side of Among Us.
Yeah, but still, this lane up top from 496, this is something they do have to take seriously. Hung with that BB, OD plus Veno. Now this one's actually a bit scary. So you get the Astral off, you land the Gale follow-up, a ton of damage can fly out. Among Us have to be cautious, respect that power spike here, and just try to play it safe. You're two melee heroes up against two range. There are ways for 496 to dance around this.
There is. Jab's automatically going to go up against that BB on the Veno, but it's tough against the Veno, even for the Pangolier. Jab's not willing to back down, however, will keep right-clicking against that BB, knowing he doesn't have the Poison Sting, but he's going to start to be a little bit cautious here. He's got Swashbuckle in a couple of seconds, but that BB also has the next Gale up. In fact, he's going to throw it out, but Jabs is really playing with fire, but he doesn't connect the Swashbuckle. Oh boy. That's, again, another great kill up here for 496.
Yeah, they're gonna get themselves a good start. Of course, down mid, while you had Jabs low, Red at level 2 had his thirst pumped up, and you can see that slow start for Abed. He's at 3-0, Red's pushing on at 8-4. Not a good sign for that Brood. Abed's gonna have to ensure his camps are safe to get that steady farm up, because the Broodmother as well doesn't like playing from behind.
Oh, Bombi. He's killed off Savage. Savage going down at the bot lane on the TB. I didn't quite catch how that happened, but Bombi, you've got to keep an eye on this man. He does get quite dangerous. I was just having a quick look at the mid lane, but never mind that, because they might go again. It looks like the side of Among Us won't have the opportunity to try and go for any kind of kill attempt here onto 496, as they don't really have the meta. And 496, however, they want to try and go after Whitemon.
Oops, it's dead now.
Bombi going to protect Yassi to ensure he can get the pull off in time, and Whitemon will not really be able to get it cancelled.
Here we go.
However, roll in, Whitemon gets the magic missile, but still in danger with the power shot out, but no, the neutral creeps. Oh, the neutrals just against Bombi, and well, they deny him off.
Yeah, I'd say that's a win for them. You're stalling out time. Savage isn't free farming, although he is up there in last hits. You are making this lane a lot harder than he'd want. He has to overcome that early death, overcome this magic damage somehow. So 496 actually off to a fantastic start. Mid lane's been going amazingly well for Red. That Bloodseeker Broodmama matchup, it's just so hard for Abed. Like, he comes in, he gets a creep, but he can't really leverage these Spiderlings because the threat of that Bloodrite, and with level 1 Blood Rage, it's a lot of damage on those Spiderlings.
Yeah, Red is doing a very good job of zoning Abed out. Every time he goes for a creep, Bloodrite, Spiderlings have to run. Especially with the range creep, of course, right? Red is always just kind of saving the Bloodrite for the range creep to ensure that Abed is always going to have the XP disadvantage. But bot lane, Whitemon, low. Bombi doesn't have another power shot yet, so he can't go for the snipe onto Whitemon. But he's going to be pretty happy with the amount of harass he's getting out.
Yeah, definitely so. Like, every time you just win a trade like that, you boost up your mid lane matchup, and you just make it easier to even overcome. So 496 still be glad, and just a lot of pressure. Whitemon
gonna go down. Let's play out from Yassi. What's the 0-4 right now? Among Us, they have not picked up a kill yet. It's very unusual for this Radiant side.
It's a slower game. They went for the slower draft, and this is what you get when you do have an Underlord off and a Terrorblade safe. They co-opt in a slower start. Now the Broodmama, it's a fast hero, but its timers are also dependent on certain key items coming out, and you're going to have to wait for that from Abed. So they're just going to have to take their time, try to find as much farm as possible, especially in Savage, which they are, but Savage...
Set in stone.
That bot lane,
Bound
Dota smash.
to something
Yeah,
extra.
but he's going to be
For
okay.
the effort, nothing.
They don't want to push it too far here, 496. They've gotten themselves
What
a
have
decent
we
kind of
here?
kill lead, and they just want to wait till Bombi gets at least the Javelin up before he gets any more aggressive, because that's going to be the main power spike for this Wind Ranger.
What have we here?
As well as that, Yassi, he does go clean up the other bounty runes and gets a nice ward out, but it looks like he doesn't really intend on leaving that bot lane, as there isn't really much to do in terms of roaming. As you know, Abed is just stuck in the jungle right now. He's having a lot of problems getting into the lane to CS, and he will now. But Red has had a pretty decently free time.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's at his level 6 mark as well, so if you do catch that Brood Mama out, she can't just run out. The Rupture's going to do a lot of work towards her as well now. And Among Us, they're not lagging too far behind in terms of total farm, but that kill momentum, you can definitely feel it. You can see that 496 is a lot more confident. Hung has had a lot of space up top, although it's not as much gold as you'd expect, but it's certainly a smoother start than you want, and there's that Rupture.
He's out on Abed. How does he get out of this one? Roll in from Yassi. Blood right, not going to land, but Abed's still in a lot of danger. He's using those spiderlings to try and zone out Red, and does wait out the Rupture. Now back onto Yassi. Here comes Jabs. They will get the one kill, and it looks like 496 are not going to stick around. Abed does successfully stay alive.
Yeah, and that's on the edge kind of play there. He doesn't even have his ult, so he can't turn around and try to man fight up. He just had to dance, and they don't manage to land it. A big, not the biggest, but a nice pickup for the Brood Mama to have around her. That does kind of offset that slower start. It's still 1-4. You're still feeling pretty good here from 496, but you need to somehow help Hong recover. I mean, he's going for the Midas build. He's sitting behind Savage, and that Savage with one dead with a highly
Radiant's
pressured
top
lane.
tower's under
This has been
attack.
very static for Hong. This is not quite the healthiest of signs, so I think you just have to find a way to accelerate that OD farm, get that fast Ags up.
Radiant structures are
Once you got this
fortified.
Midas, you should be set for that timing.
Yeah, I mean, the Midas is going to come out now. He just gets enough gold
Gold
for
for
it.
me.
That should allow him to escalate a bit. Plus, it is a bit tougher when you're in the safe lane and you have to share the XP with your support. But he is level 6 now, so
Dyer's middle tower's
maybe it's
in
about
trouble.
that time he roams
Which
into
one's
the
Dyer
jungle.
again?
But that BB gonna try for a TP out and barely
Ooh.
makes it. Luckily for him, the Spiderlings did not get a second attack in.
Yeah, on the edge, but just being a bit disruptive.
Radiant's bottom tower
it's a
needs a
stalled
hand.
game now for both sides. Of course, 496 trying to get their OD up and running.
Dyer's middle tower
Among
is
Us
under
just waiting
attack.
for Savage and Abed ready to go, although
Radiant's
they
bottom
are clumped
tower
down
is
bot
under
in white
attack.
line, very deep.
I
Cassie,
loosed that arrow this
nice and
morning.
aggressive. Bombi, of course, going to land a nice easy shatters into the focus fire. And you do have to be wary, right? He's got the Javelin up. So Bombi's damage is up there now. And this is that point we saw from the last time he played Wind Ranger. He does tend to get
Radiant's
aggressive.
bottom tower's still there. But
So it
not
opens
for
up a
long.
lot of possibilities for him. They're going to get a good shove in on that bot tier 1, although up top,
Radiant's
They got
bottom
onto
tower
that
needs a
OD. Hong's
hand.
going to be in danger again and doesn't have any
Dyer's
defensive
middle
items
tower
to get him
looks to
out.
be disintegrating.
Kuku doing a great job in that off lane. We'll give the tip over to Hong.
Dissipates.
it's they do find that key kill, slowing down that OD. Now, they're not going to be able to trade for a tier 1, so that's a bit of an edge for 496, but you can see Abed, he's ready to rip through. He's at level 9, does a ton of damage already.
It's at that point now where you just can't really contest Abed if you are a support without wave clear. He will always just be able to take you out very easily. Can even throw in the Spiderlings after Red to get a bit of harass in after. He can do to slow him down, that's the thing. All he can do is posture.
Yeah, I mean, they've got these good forward wards to keep constant vision on those camps, but if you're focusing on Abed, you're not
Dang.
focusing on
It
Savage.
looks to be
So our
disintegrating.
Terrorblade now gets to continue to farm up as well up top. And it's like a situation where you have to pick your poison here.
Dyer's
at
doing that
496.
glowy thing.
Do you worry more
Yeah,
about
not
the
the
Brood
Dyer,
Mother
that's
short
top
term,
tower might
or should
be
you be
going
more
down.
worried about the Terrorblade long term? Because Savage, I mean, he's still up there in farm. He's not been punished
Dyer's
too
top
much.
tower's under
he
attack.
hasn't. 496 are still very focused in that mid lane. Perhaps trying to get a push going there, but Savage is going to freely take the one. Now Red in danger as Arbit. He's popped the ulti and is going to make the chase onto the Bloodseeker, but the Blood Right will stop him from going any further. It still favors Arbit, obviously, even if he isn't able to get these kills going for himself. Just the fact that he's going to be able to farm up so freely on the Spider and get to that late game stage, it does start to become a powerhouse, right? And you stop caring about the Spiderlings at some stage once you've got a few core items up.
Yeah, you do see Bombido switch out his build. So it's not an MKB rush, it does turn into a Maelstrom. Need those chains to come out, that's the wave clear they need on top of it for the Wind Ranger, so it's going to be a bit more consistent at least, getting that shoved off. And you can see they're trying to reveal that with a smoke here.
But who are they going to find? Well, Savage would be a huge pick. They don't spot him out yet. Savage should be safe, but no, they are starting to run towards the TB. Roll, not going to connect, but Savage should know he needs to get out. Boulder Smash and a great Shackles once again from Bombi into the power shot. Jabs tries to come in and help, and he will Rolling Thunder. He's going to try and set up for some trades, but Red's going to come in with the Rupture. Jabs still rolling with the TP. He's not going to make it. Oh, he tried to roll TP, but the Rupture. So much damage to fly out. And that's two big pickoffs for 496.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they're going to be very happy with that. That's the punishment we were looking for on Savage. So his start now kind of offset. They've also gotten a lot of space out for Hung in this downtime. Is rushing the Hurricane Pipe first on that OD. So he's going to have mobility for himself, have a way of reaching further in. And at 496, they hold on. 3-7. Among Us, we expected a bit of a faster play with the Brood, but it looks like Abid's just going to take his time. He does have the Orchid up, so he might be able to knock some heroes if you're not careful, but he's just applying that steady pressure on the mid-tier 1. Have to watch out for the build-up from 496. There's a Maelstrom now as well on Red, so they're consistently piling on the wave clear, piling on the magic damage. They're starting to find answers for the lineup of Among Us.
I mean, yeah, you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. Not only do you deal with the Spiderlings with that Maelstrom, but Savage doesn't like magic damage. The Maelstrom's going to be very effective up against the Terrorblade. Still, bot lane Hung has been caught out alone and is not going to have any help coming in. So that's going to guarantee his death. And it's going to be another great kill being set up by Cuckoo on the Underlord. I've got to say Underlord, or Cuckoo rather, on this Underlord, has been doing a pretty darn good job.
Yeah, I mean, he's not up there in farm, but he is very impactful. It's not a very passive Underlord. It's one hunting around for kills. And that's what you want to see. Just leverage your durability up for those kills, although...
Yeah, see? Go for a Boulder Smash, but doesn't connect. Now, roll. Arbit has been ruptured, but is still going to be okay as Yassi.
Tower looks to be
going to get blown up. 496, they don't want to fight any further. They're going to run out of there.
Yeah, and the Rupture on Abbott doesn't do too much. I think when it comes down to these bigger fights, you actually do have to target Jabs. Stop the Rolling Thunder from being a factor. You can get yourself cut down on the headaches once you get that done. So Abed can be happy, although Bombi...
Oh, Abed, you don't want to die like this. He'll go for a run. Bombi, a lot of damage flying out, but he's been silent, so he can't power shot yet. He'll have to try, and he does land it off Bombi! Oh, he got the double kill!
Oh, man.
How does he find these lines?
That's why you don't let him have it. You don't let him have that Wind Ranger. He's too on point. And that's the big kills we were looking for. Abed being punished. The Brood still off to a slower start than you'd expect. Mid lane now under pressure. And 496, they're not building up a massive lead, but the fact that you have a lead up against the Broodmother at this point in the game is already a good sign. And it's really just slowed down Abed
now,
so
John.
much.
They've got that momentum now. Jabs, he's going to be in trouble bot lane. Among Us. Going to try and slow this down here for 496. Jabs, he gets the Rolling Thunder. The Sanities did not connect, and Yassi is going to die, but Red's going to come in. Still, they're going to be careful not to throw too many lives away. And Jabs, a very nice play on the Pango, does get himself out.
It's on the edge, really on the edge. 496, not quite managing to find that kill. Unfortunately, they drop a hero as well, so you can see Among Us aren't out of it. It's just the momentum's not quite where they'd want it to be. They need these key items to be up. They're looking for that Manta on Savage into the Scotty. Once you've got that, you've got more stats to play with, more durability. I'd say a BKB is also going to be key. You're looking at Abed as well. He's still saving up for that Ags. And once you have the Ags, you have the control on the map with your spin web spam. It's going to be so important for them to start really locking in 496 because they're still growing big. The Midas from Hung has been paying off. Does have his 4-staff up. It's going to be harder to pin him down. And progress here for Bombi into that BKB is going smoothly as well. So it's still building up steadily here on 496.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Oh, that Gale connecting on the Spiderlings makes such a loud sound. Top lane, Yassi spotted out, swashbuckling from Jabs with the magic missile, and now the Pit of Malice will be Yassi. He's gonna die. Another nice pickup out from Among Us. Where do they head to now?
Radiant's
They're
bottom
wrapping
tower
around that
needs a
Roshan
hand.
pit, but it's doubtful they go for it unless Cuckoo does feel confident. But no, he's going to TP down to the bot lane, and it looks like they are maybe going to have a look for Hung. Hung already on the retreat. Just back out, and it looks like he will be just fine.
Yeah, it's defensive plays here. 496 do want to wait for those items to be out first. So they'll take their time. They don't want to bleed this lead away. It's a very precarious spot because you lost in the tier 1. It was later than you'd want it to be. But still losing that objective opens up a map. Although Savage.
It's a lot of trouble. Savage, you don't want to die like this, and he does. Bombi gets another one. Savage is having a very tough game now. Still top of the net worth board, but he's died 3 times. They just don't seem to care about his net worth.
It's been a slow start for him. They're still getting the punishment. This is why the BKB has to be key. It's just that it's not going to stop Rupture. That's the big part. So he's still going to be stuck. Among Us need to give him some supports to help him out. But they are kind of just forced to be around the map to stave off that push, to really protect Abed as well. And that's where it's really getting difficult. You've got these 2 cores that need that initial farm. How do you split that farm up now? It's coming. One is coming at the cost of the other, and it's been a back and forth. 496. They still maintain a very slight lead, but you do feel them really just reel in the map control. This is despite not taking that mid tier 1. They've just got the movement. They've got the vision and the level spikes to dip into that triangle and constantly make it hard to just find recovery farm.
Net worth has been really all over. Still 1k the way of 496. Bombi is about to have that BKB up, so things are looking a bit scarier. Well, Mjolnir on red is going to be very effective, as well as his own BKB.
Dire's bottom tower is getting pushed around. Radiant's courier has been killed.
That Aghanim Scepter. Savage. I'll work towards that Eye of Skadi. See a Dark Rift coming out, down to the bot lane. Just Cuckoo, bringing in White Mon. They seem to want to push this bottom tier 1 tower, so
Dire's bottom
get
tower
some pressure out.
don't look good.
That'll be the objective. Looks like 496 probably won't try to defend this.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Way too far out from the rest of the team. Not the biggest objective to lose. It's been a pretty dead lane. So they could just trade it away,
Dire's
but
bottom tower is
Among
under
Us is
attack.
also playing super cautiously. They don't want to give opportunities away, and they're taking it slow. It's a slow siege out. No risks being taken. That does mean, eventually it will melt, but that does give 496 time to roam around as well. They've gotten control of that Radiant Triangle. They're getting the shove in on that top tier 1 is the trade, so they do find something in return.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Trade between the two.
Dire's bottom tower is under
the
attack.
MKB. I like that choice.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need the Mjolnir here. You don't need the active.
Dire's
You
bottom
don't
tower
have
is
as many
under
options.
attack.
You still want more piercing damage, so That's gonna help massively up against Savage, and if Savage will want to
Dire's
build
bottom
a
tower.
butterfly down
Don't
the line, it's not
look
gonna help
good.
him. So have to be aware of that. Have to be very conscious of how Bombi's building
Radiant's
up here.
top tower is under
The
attack.
Ags for Abed is about to fly
Dire's
out,
bottom
so
tower
he will
is under
start to have
attack.
even more webs spun.
Dire's structures
That
are
should give him
fortified.
more opportunities to
Radiant's
split the
top
map
tower
up.
is about to
But we
topple.
haven't seen the effectiveness of this brood at all. Like, I mean, Abed's still doing okay,
Amazing
but
what
you
you'll find
really expect
lying
these
around.
towers to melt. You expect the pressure to be up and running 20 minutes in, but it's not quite there.
That BB, nice Tinker Ward out. Getting prepared for a defense attempt. Because with the
Dire
Plague
are
Wards, he
scanning.
can delay
Trying
things
to
quite
find those
nicely.
sneaky bums.
They are still going to be just grouping up. Looks like Abed does now have the Ag, so a lot more spider webs to be flying out on the map.
Dire's bottom
He should
tower.
feel a lot more
Don't
comfortable
look good.
to try and roam around and make some things happen. And actually, a nice Dark Rift into the Rosharp hit with the Spiderling.
Radiant
It's
called
a
in the
sneaky play here
fortification.
for Among Us. It's going to be a quick one. And unfortunately for 496, even if they had a ward outside, there's no way to preempt that one. So a sneaky little Roche for Among Us to help them bounce back. And they're going to be feeling great about that. That's one synergy with Underlord and Broodmother, sneaking a Spiderling around.
We'll get a 5-star tip from Jabs. Very nice from Cuckoo. And again, Cuckoo is just one of those very reliable off-lane players. Very good at his role. Obviously doing the captaining of the team as well, but he just does a great job for his team. Even those small little things like Dark Rifting to the Spiderlings, it's a really nice play. But now 496, even with that Aegis gone, they want to smoke and go for a fight, and they might just run into Savage again. Yes, he can have his smoke broken. He'll go for a roll up to the high ground. Savage not going to be able to react in time, and he's gone. Sunder, it's going to be nicely timed. He might have a chance, but no. There goes your Aegis. Now they want to back out. Abed will roam in onto Bombi, trying to deal with the Wind Ranger, but Savage is falling low and will die to Yassi on the Earth Spirit. Bombi is pretty invincible right now with that BKB active, but Abed, he's still trying. Is Bombi going to go down? No, he forced off the wave, does survive Abed. He just can't make it happen. Whitemon trying to swap him back in, but this Wind Ranger is going to run away. A 4-for-0 for 496.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, and it's shaping up way too well now for 496. 7-14 Among Us. With the Broodmother draft,
Dire's
it's
top
not
tower
kicking
is
into
under
gear.
attack.
So many issues they have to correct. When Bombi
Dire's
pops that
putting a
wind
hurt on
run, you
Radiant's
don't have
middle
it.
tower.
You are all about the
Invisibility.
right click here. There is nothing to pierce through that evasion. MKBs now have to be
Radiant's
next
middle
after the
tower has
BKB for
fallen.
Abed. Is there going to be room for it? I'm not sure. The map, it's shrinking down. You're sharing that farming space with Savage as well, who's still trying to finish up that Scotty. He's queuing up his MKB next. It's a bit much. 496, they're starting to hit a massive power spike, 6k up. And if they keep that momentum, Among Us are going to be farm-starved in two really heavy cores.
Oh, they are. It's looking real tough for them now. This could be the first game they drop, or maybe not. Yassi gonna get pitted Malice up. They do
Radiant's
allow
courier
Hunt to get out of there. Yassi is gonna have to accept the fact that he's
Tower
dead.
is looking too steady.
I mean, they get that, but Savage loses his courier with a Scotty.
Radiant's top
And that's
tower
gone
is
for
about
2.5
to
minutes.
topple.
So that major spike
Radiant's
for the
structures
Terrorblade
are
now gone.
fortified.
It's going to be a tough 2.5 minutes. As you know, 496, they're not going to wait around. They're just going to keep this pressure up. And if they catch Savage out, I mean, that would be a lot easier than it should be, considering that item
Radiant's
time.
top tower is under
This game is
attack.
really showing you as well why Savage said that 496 was one of the most annoying teams to verse and see. They are proving
Radiant's top
to be
tower
very,
ain't
very
looking
frustrating
too
here for
steady.
Savage on that TV.
Dire's middle tower looks to be disintegrating.
The top lane going to be forced in now, just for free.
Radiant's
Nobody
top
going to be
tower
there to
has
defend.
fallen.
And that is going to give just about enough gold for Red to almost have that Mjolnir up. He just needs the recipe. Among Us, they were posturing around that dire triangle, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
it's not going to work out. They do back off back to their own. And of course, someone has to defend that top lane. It'll be Savage.
Yeah, it's a safe part to farm in. He is making steady progress
Dire
towards the
scanning for
MKB now.
enemies.
So, you know, they're buying that time here for Among Us. 6k behind is still not a good spot to be in with a Brood Mama, but Abed does have level 18, max level Insatiable Hunger now in play. I would like to see him hit his level 20 talent. That's when you start to feel a bit better on Brood.
That's
And
just
once you hit 25, you can consider that like a second spike.
have
But it's going to be a while. And 496, still feeling confident. They invade the triangle. That does make it complicated for Among Us. They're playing on the opposite side of the map.
Surface.
Tried to go onto Yassi, but Yassi does have the Yule Scepter, so he can purge off the Orchid. Now bot lane, Bombi, he's onto Cuckoo. Cuckoo's trying to Dark Rift. He gets Yule's up. Does he have time to get out of there? The Sanities? No, he will not make it, and now another Shackles out onto Jabs. Oh boy. 496, they're feeling it now. Savage.
I'm stricken.
Be alright. Whitemon does go down to the Venge. Nice swap out. And we do have a quick pause now from Among Us. This is the problem when you're versing 496. When you give them a bit of momentum, when they get the ball rolling, it is very hard to slow them down.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to overcome this 8k gap. You just expect so much more coming out from Brood. Abed has just not been able to apply that pressure in the towers, force the responses on a map that you'd want to. And that's really just down to these natural counter picks. The Bloodseeker, picking the Brood into Blood is just so strange. Like it just gives so much value for Red, and it's in 496 now. Dominant position to be in. They've got the BKB on Hung for a while now. He's going for a side of Vice. There's that Scotty up in Savage, so he's got a bit more stats to play with. Does have some breathing room in terms of fighting up now, but without the BKB, it's going to be tricky. He needs the MKB as well to actually do the damage. Just so much farm that you need to work towards. There is no room here. Look at the positioning of 496 in that Radiant jungle,
Radiant's
taking over.
bottom tower is under
How
attack.
do you farm these two heroes now on Among Us' side? There's just not going to be enough for the next few minutes.
Radiant's
That
bottom
seems to be
tower
Tower.
needs a hand.
Won't last long. MKB on the way for our Wind Ranger now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Gonna be
Radiant's bottom tower
really
is fallen.
scary. I mean, Maelstrom MKB procs on a Terrorblade, both of which do magic damage. Oh man, Savage. He's not going to be happy.
Dire's middle tower is under
Needs that
attack.
BKB
No.
up. Savage is working towards an MKB of his own to try and hit the Wind Ranger through that Wind Run. Just, it's going to be more about survival.
Yeah. I mean, I think survival is okay for Savage. We've seen him play on the edge with his Sunders. He
Dire's
just
top
needs
tower
to
is
ensure
under
that he
attack.
does something in that life. It's very difficult. No one can do anything to the Wind Run. They just don't have magic damage for it. Like, you went all in on physical. You've got the Firestorm. Sure, it's not going to burn her down fast enough. And, you know, they're just using this time to farm. 496 is happy to trade farm. You've still got Hung keeping pace with Savage. There is that, but you get worried. Once that Hex is up on Hung, the side of Vice, the control he brings out is going to really hammer it in.
Dire's top
on
tower is
Among
about
Us.
to be Radiant's top
And
rubble.
It's just hard. It's a hard game set to get harder. Among Us are playing it right. They're sticking together while farming. They have to just play it safe. This is all you can hope for now.
Top lane. Among Us, try for the push. The TP's out. They're not going to see these TPs happening, so Yassi won't bother trying to roll in. Now it does when his team's with him, but it's too late.
Dire is scanning for
What do
enemies.
you care, right? Like, you're still extending this net worthly if you're 496. It doesn't really seem to bother them.
No. They have nothing to be bothered by. Like, they get the smoke up. They've got the Santies back up. They can try to make some plays. Of course, I believe that was under an OBS, so that does mean Among Us should be aware there's a smoke play coming out.
He's up the Spiderlings there, Yassi. A lot of gold for himself. Gonna wrap around through the river. Bombi with that MKB. We haven't seen his damage quite yet, but I imagine it will be pretty high. Was Hung with his BKB and the Hex to be worked on. Gonna run into Jabs. Yassi will slow him down with the Boulder Smash. They retreat. Looking for a better kind of initiation for 496. They don't want to take it with the low ground.
Radiant are scanning.
Now
How does that even
Counter-Smoker,
work?
Among Us, they pop the meta, so they want to try and force a fight with this. They could also opt for the Roshan play, and that seems to be what they're trying for.
Yeah, it's going to be another sneaky Roche. 496 is a lot closer this time, though. Should be aware of it, and they actually don't.
Outpost, it's about 10 seconds to 30 minutes. They haven't even got a T2 tower, so they can't do that. Okay, so just changing farming locations. However, Jam plays. Oh, he ruptured up with the Rolling Thunder. He'll try for the TP, but Yassi gonna use him up. Jabs is gonna end up dying to Hung on the OD. And, well, the only thing Among Us can do right now is just try and split push that top lane. And that's exactly what they will do with the Savage Illusions. And 496 probably really not going to care, considering they do already have the bottom tier 2, or maybe they do. They TP in, tier 2 does go down, but they're going to have a Gander here, looking for Cuckoo, silencing him up, and Bombi will take the kill with the power shot.
Always want to conquer
And that might just be
which they can
Roshan
barely
time.
fathom, let alone create.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 heroes down. They've got such a big lead now on momentum as well. There's a blink on Bombi that comes in so he can initiate better, and that Roche does not last long with its damage coming out here.
Dire's middle tower looks to be disintegrating.
Red will go pick up the Aegis. Smoke up. Yassi gonna have a roll in. He is gonna spot out Whitemon. They want a bit more than that. Yassi will just keep rolling to connect with the Yules. He doesn't really have any boulders on him apart from that one he just kicked away.
Dire's
But it's
middle
going to be
tower
enough
is
to kill
under
off
attack.
Whitemon while the rest of the team are going to chase down Savage. There is Bombi with the focus fire. Savage with the BKB trying to get out, and he barely does
Dire's
make
middle
it.
tower is falling.
That was his 10-second charge.
Not the way you want that. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, but as that ticks down,
Dire's middle
496
tower
are
is
gonna be
under
happy
attack.
with the shorter BKBs. They're going to keep that damage up. Even Abed popping it as well.
Oh, it's his 10-second charge as well.
Yep.
Oh no, that's not good.
No.
Radiant
it's,
are
it's
scanning
gonna
for
be tough
enemies.
now. 9 seconds is still long, but it's never a good feeling. They're still trying to keep up with farm here, and Abed has gotten a lot of space for himself. Gonna have to make that matter. He is building into that site of vice as well, so looking for that additional control, but it feels like you're missing the timing here on the Brood.
Radiant's
You're not
middle tower
overtaking
is
as
not
much as you
feeling
want.
the love.
So we'll see if the investment on Abed is going to pay off. While you stall, it's just recovery, and Savage is still number 1, right? So maybe 496, they're still feeling confident in that Terrorblade.
For the first time this game, loop-bet odds are going the way of 496. They are still very, very close, but they do finally take...
Oh, Savage? No.
Shackled up by Bombi.
Solo.
Jabs, gonna go for the roll TP out of there, will make it out. But Savage, gonna go down to the win range.
No,
Dire's
you can't
career
have
has
that
been
happen.
killed.
And
Serves
Bombi,
you right.
the patience to just hang around there such a long time to get that done. That is a massive piece of pain for Among Us. Savage is sort of their win condition now. Right? He's number 1 net worth.
Yes,
He needs to be bigger. He does have the MTG.
Actually having a gander down bot lane, and Bombi is going to be there with the focus fire. Abed trying to run, but Bombi is going to be able to follow, so they get the swap out in time. Abed is going to survive, but Whitemon, of course, will have to die. And now, Red, he goes for a Rupture. Onto Cuckoo, diving the tier 4 towers. Red, I'm not sure about this one. He will have to let him go. Going to be a bit cautious there as Jabs. He does have a basher up on that Pango. But 496, they want to try for the high ground.
And why not? There's no ult out, no
Radiant's
rolling
bottom
time
tower
scared
is
of.
under attack.
The Firestorm is hurting their wave though, but slow and steady. They can do some chip damage here.
They can. They don't want to lose a team fight here, 496. Otherwise, there will be a lot of gold and XP going back to Among Us. And and Among Us are quite desperate for that team fight win. Bombi tried for the shackle, the illusion doesn't get it. Now needs to back off as Jabs is going to Rolling Thunder through, but he will also retreat. Both teams understanding that one team fight could be the change this game needs. Bombi, he's been hexed up. Arbet moves in with his new side device. It's still not going to be enough. Bombi does get the BKB off now with the great shackles, but it's not going to latch. The BKBs were there in time from Savage and Arbet. Yassi is going to be the first to go down. 496, the rest of them, they will immediately TP out. So they do get at least a support Earth Spirit for their trouble.
Yeah, it's something. You'll take what you can get here if you are Among Us. They do manage to hold on to their high ground off the back of that, so overall, it's still a success. Now you start to see that Abed does need an MKB, so he's going to have to farm that next.
Dire
He gets the
scanning for
hits
enemies.
off. Savage, for his part, once he has that Lincolns, you're going to feel a lot safer. You're not going to be
They're going
immediately
for a
targeted
fight.
down at all.
Yeah, Hung, he's got a sight device up on that OD, trying to go after Cuckoo, but doesn't really deal enough damage to Cuckoo. Red, gonna move in. Won't rub shot. Shackles is there for Bombi, but a swap out onto the Pangolier, so Jabs will get out in the Dark Grip. Is gonna be there from Cuckoo. They will be able to escape.
Yeah, that's the BKB used though from Abed, but that does give them time to reset. 496 have to be a bit careful. You have spell uses out waiting here for Among Us, but they still have the hammer. Hung has not
Swap
dropped
in, they've got Red. Now hit a Malice inside device, and that's going to stop the push. Nice play out from Whitebot. Arbit will make a bit of a chase here, see if he can catch somebody else out with that Hex. It's going to be a few seconds away, but no, he's not going to be able to. Or maybe Hung is being slowed by those Spiderlings, but Yassi going to silence up Arbet and trying to force him back. Still, Hung taking a bit of damage from that reflection, and Arbet still just hiding around. Now the bash coming out from Jabs. Hung still has the Astral being kicked away from Yassi. Now Yassi might just drop here on the Earth Spirit, but they still want Hung on that OD, and they might eventually get him, and they do. Even Yassi going down and then Arbet. He had to work for that one, but it was worth so much
middle
gold
tower looks to be
that it was
disintegrating.
well worth it. Yassi, that's not the roll. He's been silenced up now, and Arbet wants
Dire's
to
middle
have a
tower is
chase.
under attack.
Yassi, it seems like he's trying to buy time, as Bombi is going to come in now, back onto Arbet. He doesn't have enough damage yet. Bombi, got to be careful for Savage.
Dire's middle
He's hitting
tower
like a
looks to be
truck.
disintegrating.
He's got that MKB up.
Dire's
Now
putting up a
Savage suddenly
barricade.
going for the high ground attempt against 496.
496 have to be cautious. They need to buy the time for the OD to be up. That's how they deal with Savage now, but no buyback. 40 seconds is a long
Dire's
time.
top tower
Buy
has
more
fallen.
time. Right, gonna get the rupture off. It's gonna be on Arbet, but he does pop the ulti. Heal himself up to max. They want this Rax while they're here. They're not planning to back
Dire's
off, but
top
Shackles
barracks
not
has
gonna land on
fallen.
Savage. He'll be alright. Hit of Malice is there. They do kill off that BB. It's a great start. They'll
Dire's
get the
top
Rax,
barracks
and they just
swallowed.
want out of here. Everyone in the
Everyone
dark
is
group,
bottom
everyone is
row.
gone.
It's down there, Rex.
Cuckoo, once again, setting up his team for success.
Oh man, a lot of this is actually coming off the back of Jab's Basher. Like, that chase that got them the big kill on Hung was down to the bashes he was getting off. Just, if he didn't get the bashes, he would have probably not found that kill. Big bounce back for Among Us suddenly on top. Well, not quite, but 1k behind 496, but a Rax up. Feeling good about that. And Savage now on the TB. I mean, he's been #1 in net worth. Now it starts to play.
Dire
He's
is
got the
scared for
BKB, the
enemies.
MKB, they can do the damage, he can just focus in. Now the key thing is to play around Metamorphosis. If 496
What
catch
need
that
have I
Terrorblade
been
while
busy-
that's down,
Oh.
that could be a moment of
quite nice,
weakness.
actually.
So Among Us have to be disciplined around that timer, and 496, they have to be aware of that timer. Punish when they know Metamorphosis fades. It's a big opening for them. Hung can still do a lot of damage. We just need to see him get enough stacks up to get the Santies off.
Looks like Bombi's going to be working towards that Octarine core now on the Wind Ranger, so just wanting those even lower cooldowns. Essentially going to allow her to have just permanent wind run, and as well as that, you do also obviously get a nice low cooldown Shackle. As if it wasn't low enough at 7 seconds. Maybe even lower. And his level 25 talent gives a cooldown reduction. Still mid lane, will they corn? It's going to be Yassi, but he'll be Astrid up. Now the Poison Nova, and Whitemon will die. Arbet still pops the BKB, wanting to fight up against Red with the Dark Grip. He's going to be there from Cuckoo. They want to get out of here, and they do. So Yassi and Whitemon going down. It was a dieback on Yassi. It's well worth it for Among Us to just take the kill and back off.
Yeah, but they do smoke up. They do have Metamorphosis and Savage. They might want to pull a sneaky one here. 496 have to be a bit cautious. If they get caught unaware, this would be a big win for Among Us.
Yeah, the net worth is basically just dead even now as well. It's not like you have
Double
that 10k
damage.
advantage that you did a second ago. They do get a DD rune on Red. Roshan, 25 seconds away from spawning. And BB may get caught out and dunks. Nice bit of Malice, nice bash out from Jabs. Arbet will pick up another one on the Brood, and they are just going to stick around and wait for this Roshan to spawn up.
Yeah, and you've got some major progress here for Savage as well. Abyssal now up on our Terrorblade. The control flying in from Among Us starting to look overwhelming. They've got that sight, they've got the Abyssal, they've got the Basher and Jabs. If you get caught out in one bad stun, it could be big.
I think they're going to allow this Roshan to go. Only issue being is you can't really fight 5v3 for 496, so they have no choice.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
It'll be a free Roshan, a free Cheese, and the Aghanim Scepter. Which I wonder who they give that to.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Yeah, it's a bit open, I guess.
Whitemon.
Yeah, Whitemon.
Okay.
I mean, the fear is really nice if you get an offensive swap. Even a defensive one is going to be big, so it's going to be a lot more utility
Dyer's
there.
middle
There's that
tower is
Octarine
under
you
attack.
mentioned. So,
Those are cool
yeah.
guns.
But, yep, Octarine plus Quickening Charm plus the level 25. 3.9 with a
Dyer's
4.6
middle
shackle
tower looks to
duration.
be
Sounds
disintegrating.
balanced to me, Mike.
Basically got 100% uptime on all his abilities for Bombi. His power shot even less than 6 seconds now. Still, Among Us in a very, very powerful position.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
They're still giving it to each other, these two. As Red is going to go up and spawn out Savage, but he's in danger now. Tries the BKB and will go down. So Red's gone. Savage with that meta wants to keep this fight up, so he'll turn onto Yassi, who does roll away and does get the Yules off to avoid a lot more damage. But they've left someone behind, and that is going to be that BB. He was trying to kill off Whitemon. He does not get away with it. Whitemon does survive it. No, he doesn't.
Dyer's
He does
bottom
eventually
tower.
tick out
Don't
to
look
the poison
good.
damage. So 1 for 1. They still want to pressure this tier 2 bot tower as Yassi going to show himself, but he does get rooted up. Still trying to get out of here. Arbet will block the other way, and the roll will not be enough. That BB, he just fought back, wanting to fight back, but this is not looking great as Bombi. He focus fired an illusion. It's not looking good for him. Hung, that was not the sanity they wanted, and now Savage, he can jump in and clean up with Arbet. They will get 2 more. And Bombi is the only one allowed to run out of there, and it looks like Among Us. They have had enough of this game, they want to finish it, but they won't get the opportunity. Still Bombi goes in and cleans up Jabs now. Back
Dyer's
into
middle
the mid
tower
lane.
is under attack.
They'll get a secondary Rax for their trouble.
Dyer's
He's
middle
coming out on
barracks
Savage, but
has
it's going to be very
fallen.
hard to take him out. But a
Dyer's
great
bottom
shackles
tower has
once
fallen.
again from Bombi. Still not going to be enough, but the focus fire is there. He's focusing him down.
Dyer's
Savage will
tower
go
looks
for the
to be
Abyssal Blade.
disintegrating.
Now the Thunder. The Savage is still unhealthy. Does lose the Aegis, but Bombi loses his life. And that'll be GG. There are no buybacks left, and they'll call it. Among Us make the comeback happen.
Oh, man. Oh, 496, they showed up here. Bombi doing the work. But it wasn't enough, Mike. Among Us, they held out. They had faith. And this time, one bad fight, 496 turned it around. Among Us bounced back in and do manage to maintain that undefeated streak in spectacular fashion. 496 made it really hard. That's a close series. But they just look unbeatable, Mike.
I mean, I dare say, and again, I don't know if my memory is serving me correctly, but I dare say that was probably the closest they've come to losing so far. The side of Among Us. I mean, the mid lane looked pretty bad. Like Abed was struggling on the Brood. 23 Savage was having a real rough time. He died 5 times this game. 496, they looked so close to taking it. But of course, well played to Among Us. Still an undefeated team throughout these group stages. And, well, we'll have to wait till tomorrow to see if anybody can take a game off them. In fact, no, we can't even wait till tomorrow because... No, we can. They are in the first series. Never mind. Still, we'll go on to our next series of the day. It is going to be 0-3-2 up against TNC for our third matchup. It's MLP Dota and John X Fire, and we'll see you again in about 10 minutes for that series.
Ooh, that's live.